You found yourself in this position where you are making a game all by yourself. That's a really tough spot to be in, but I'm here to tell you I got a couple things for you that I think will help you. My name's Kyle. I've been a solo game developer for a little over a year now. Also do these YouTube videos 2 times per week to help you all. These are 5 things that I've really picked up on over the past year, as well as before that shipping my own products. Before we get started though, I am using a different mic setup this time, so hopefully you all can still hear me. I'm testing this one out so I can make videos in other places besides just my apartment here, and hopefully it works. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So this first one, this is probably the most important one, is find your why. Find what motivates you and why you even want to make a game in the first place. That's really important because there's a lot of struggles you're going to go through as a solo dev, and the only person there for the most part to back you up is you. You can definitely lean on other people, but at the end of the day, you have to get yourself motivated, you have to get yourself moving to actually finish your game and hopefully make some sales if you're doing that commercially. What your why is depends on the person. It really depends on you. It's not something that I can tell you. But what I can say is focus on what is your why. Maybe even write that down somewhere. I'm not a big believer in these motivational messages or posters that people post up, but you could try it and it might help you at some point. Just make sure you know why you're doing this so that it helps you follow through with that commitment and actually ship your game. And that way, when things are not looking so good, you can remember back to why are you doing this in the first place. That can hopefully pick you up out of the valley of despair and get you moving and get you shipping your game. Number 2 on the list of 5 ways you can make games all by yourself is to keep your scope small. The reason you keep that scope small is that so you don't get yourself into something that's way too big for you to ship in a reasonable amount of time. I'm a big believer in trying to get the game ready and finished as soon as possible. I'm not really a person that would glorify, I went and spent 7 years on my game, no offense to anybody that did that, but I would find it incredibly hard to believe that you would ever see return on investment with 7 years up front, or that you had that much capital lying around to actually fund yourself for that period of time as one person. So where does that leave us solo devs in this? In my opinion, it means we're looking at smaller games, we're looking at building up a catalog of games that were shipped over time with multiple releases, leading up to return on investment on each of those because the development time has been short. That means that probably you can get a return on your time a little more easily than if you spent 7 years or even 4 years working on one single title and really hoping that that takes off, which unfortunately odds are it probably won't. It's kind of up to luck. Keep those games small, ship often, get a bunch of titles out there, and hopefully that can help you make better and better games over time as you build up mechanics that you can transfer between each of those games to make them faster. One way to make sure that scope stays small is to be pretty ruthless when it comes to cutting things out of scope. That means that you need to, in some way, be really focused on what is the scope for your game. Having that game design document is a great way to do that, especially if you're posting it on socials or you're getting feedback from other people, which you should be doing. You're going to get a lot of different ideas of things you can do for your game, but at the end of the day, you have to decide what makes sense for your game and ruthlessly cut that scope when it doesn't make sense so that you can actually ship that title and move on. But even though you throw something away, it doesn't mean you can't revisit it at another time. Definitely keep all that feedback around and all those ideas around because that can fuel your next game. Moving on to number 3, and that is know what you're good at and capitalize on that. You're one person, so you have to be really efficient with your time if you want to ship a game. What that means is knowing what you're really, really good at and using that to your advantage. What is your unfair advantage against anyone else that's making a game? Maybe you're a rockstar programmer. That could be your unfair advantage. Maybe you can churn code out faster than anyone that's high quality, but you're not much of an artist. Maybe for that first game, don't go all in focusing on 3D art. Focus on something where you can use those strong programming skills to your advantage and look to other places like asset stores or hiring people to help you fill in the gaps for the things that you're not quite that strong at yet. So doing this and knowing what you're good at can help you ship your game faster because you're building a game that is suited to you. Enough about you. Just because you're working solo, it doesn't mean it's all about you. So number 4 here, find your people. Who are your people? Your people are people that are interested in your game, people that want that game to come out or that want to play it or that are just supporting you in some way. These kind of people can come from all different kinds of places. If you're posting on socials, maybe you can get a following behind your game that's really interested in that. And you can lean on those people to give you feedback or to do play tests or all kinds of other things. things that would be really hard for you to do if you hadn't have built a group around you already. Local game dev groups can also be a good place to go and do this. If you find some people that you like working with, you meet them at a local game dev group, you guys can work together on your own projects, or maybe at some point in time you can band together and work together on a game to ship it. Other people can be great for motivating you. They can be great to help you when you're working on something that you're stuck on or maybe you're not so good at, especially if it's something that's in their background. They can help you with that. Last one here, again, it's not all about you even if you're solo, and that's number 5. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It goes back to that previous thing I said about having a group of builders around you that you can rely on or that you can lean on when things are kind of tough. Don't be afraid to ask them for help at some point when you're stuck. You're going to get stuck, so don't be afraid to ask for help. You can even pay people to help you. I have another video about hiring and contractors that I'll link right down here in the description, so go check that out. But hiring people to do work for you, especially if you have the budget, can be really helpful. So going back to knowing what you're good at, you can hire out for other things that you're not good at or that you don't want to do, and you have the option to do so if you have enough funding. But sometimes you don't know who to turn to. Maybe you don't have enough funding to hire someone with the particular skill that you're looking for. Now what? That's where socials come in. You can actually just go ask for help on socials. I've done it several times. I'll just make a post on Twitter and I'll say, hey, I'm working on this. I need help. Does anybody know anything about this? People love talking about what they know, and most likely someone's going to respond to that. I might even respond to it if I see your post and I happen to know about what you're asking. Don't be afraid to use socials as a way of getting help on your projects. At the end of the day, it's all about whatever you need to do to get you moving forward and to get your game shipped. There is no shame in asking for help, either privately or publicly, so please don't be afraid to do it. That's all I got today. Hopefully those 5 things are going to be useful for you. But before you go, I do have one other thing for you. I now have an affiliate link with Fiverr that I'll put in the description of the video as well. If you use that link, you don't pay anything, but I get a little kickback from whatever you buy. It helps me keep making those videos. It helps me buy coffee, which I need to continue working on things because, well, it's like that. As always, let me know if you like my videos down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.